Saturday over. Woo, yeah, going home. Yeah, I got allergies or something. I had a cold. It was rough. It was definitely a creeping crowd of some kind that I fought for about 10 days. Now, I have the, oh God, itchy hair, hold on. God, I got that one lock. It's like, there it is. Oh, Lord, have mercy. So, it's been kind of weird. So, let me give you a little update on what kind of crazy you're dealing with. Alright, so, they over-ordered at this last job I was at. I don't know, I'm going to get out of here. I don't want to have to go all the way down that way. I want to be able to go back that way, a quarter mile, and hit that fucking turn and beeline it down Dobbins, so I don't have to fucking backtrack anyway up the fucking hill to go dump my shit. Anyway, so oh, is that my old truck? Looks like it. Yeah. Sorry, dude. Don't worry. I'll get up to speed in a second. Y'all ain't so fucked down anyway. It's only 45 through here. Okay, so here's how the night went. I came in at 11:30. This is actually my off weekend. Oh, okay. Dickhead. I really don't fucking care, dude. So, my manager messages me, like, yesterday, and he's like, could sure use some volunteers for tomorrow. No pressure. So, I end up getting back to the plant I was working on, and I asked the batch guy, and I was like, hey, what do we got on that board tomorrow? Yada yada, yada yada, yada yada, right? I was like, damn, 720. Okay, yeah. So, I messaged my manager back and said, yeah, you can expect me somewhere around 11:30 tonight. No worries. No worries. And he's like, thank you. I said, but I do need this day off because I got a ride, charity ride I want to do. Sounds good. Just don't forget to remind dispatch of the deal. So, I did a full day today. The last time I volunteered, he gave me, I only came in for the night pour, and when he got 3/4 of the way done, he sent me and, bathroom buddy packing. Because he didn't need us after that. That was the biggest thing we had, and that's all he needed us for. And it was basically, I had bartered to work a different weekend so I could have my birthday off, right? Which was the next weekend. And they were like, yeah, that's whatever. So anyway. We start off, everything's all good in the hood, and then we get this one kooky motherfucker. There's always one. There's always one driving, or one just isn't a good team player, or you got one finisher that fucks the whole night up, right? So I'm pouring, and this dumb fucker, and he knows better, and pulls up, and he's like right on top of me. And I'm not empty yet. I just barely started. Pulls up next to me, and I'm like, where the fuck do you think you're going? Apparently you want me to pour on your fender. Well, apparently he knows how to read lips, because he moved over a little bit, because I was getting real fucking close to pouring on his rim of his front tire. And he wasn't liking that much. So, Why do I have a fucking message? Who's messaging me? Hopefully it's not dispatch saying, bring it here. No. No, I don't know. I don't want anything to do with that. Anyway, so everything's good. Like, when he first poured out, he came in behind me, and I got done, and as I was leaving, I looked over, and I'm like, oh my God, he's got like a fucking 8-inch slump, right? I don't say nothing. That's up to them between the freaking contract and dispatch. They can duke that shit out. I'm not, but I did make mention, he is fucking wet. And I have mentioned, I don't know how many different times, to batch guys when I got back from the pour, dude was fucking wet, always wet, this guy's wet, that guy's wet, I don't know, they took it, but I have to go over top of all their shit to thicken it up, so I'm filling holes, right? I'm not happy. So, at about 570 yards in, he pulls me off of that one to get ready for this one that I'm taking the leftovers to the dump for. Yeah, they grossly overordered. Bad. Like 30 yards. It's a box. How do you overorder 30 yards on a box? I don't know. I ain't figured it out. I was only 1 yard heavy on my first load because they had to dry me up. And if I had, known what the hell the job was, I wouldn't have dried it up. I would have just gone with it. Anyway. So yeah, the night was good. I mean, other than dealing with that one. Now, he was wet all night long. Another driver was wet all night long. But that other driver doesn't come crawling up your butthole and crowd you out. There's that. He knows better. There was actually 3 drivers that were kind of consistently too wet. And the one was the only one that crowded out. And crowding this motherfucker. So, the QC guy, who's a buddy of mine I ride bikes with, he says, man, he is wet. I said, I told you. He's like, how many loads has he done? I said, same as me. And every load, he has been wet. Now, I'm going to let you know, yesterday, toward the end, they were wetting us up. So, the batch guy wasn't trimming the water and just letting us go with whatever we had. And I said, I think the wettest that I poured out yesterday, and they were not complaining because they were exhausted, was about a 7. And I didn't add a stitch of water to it. I was batched that way. He was like, no shit. I said, yeah, no shit. So yeah, this last job, it only took like 66 yards. They ordered 100. 20 of it was like 30 of it was already batched. The last 10 was about to get dropped a ticket and voided, and they didn't load it. But because they didn't measure, this is what happens. Now, we've been on industrial jobs where they're like, yeah, just shoot it into the hole. And they don't know how much it's going to take. They're just scientific wild-ass guessing the amount. And when they get to where they want it, then they'll call it and they'll just reject whatever trucks that they have on the yard and waste it, no complaints, right? Just get rid of it. Do whatever you need to do. It can't go here, sometimes it's feasible, sometimes it's not. Sometimes you just gotta take it and dump it. You know, sometimes we got somewhere we can take it. So, dude had somewhere he could take it, his, and he had the girl that was loaded behind me go with him. He was actually ahead of me, and he was like, no, go ahead, pour out. I got somewhere I can take this shit. And so he took it up the road to somebody's right, whatever. So, anyway, yeah, that was that. But the peoples that they brought down were the two guys and the girl from the other plant where my nefarious Cluster B Milkshake X works out of, right? And these two guys are so savage. Anyway, I get full reports of all of this dumb fuckers misbehaving. Every bit of it. And I relish in hearing how much of a shitbag he really is. I think it's fucking hilarious. Anyway, so there's another story that kind of accompanies this. And I was like, telling him, I was like, yeah, dude, buddy that I ride with, had to cover down for the batch guy to go on vacation, right? So batch guy leaves, goes on vacation. My buddy comes in, take care of that plant while he's on vacation, right? And my Cluster B Milkshake X knows that my buddy is going to be covering down on that plant for 2 weeks, right? This shit's wild, right? He is on his best fucking behavior. He shows up early, he is on time, or he is just knocking it out, no complaints, being a complete fucking sweetheart for 2 weeks. Has this guy convinced that he is magically reformed into being a model citizen? I'm like, I'm not buying it. He's like, no, seriously. I get there, he's already there, he's, you know, I'm like, you sure? You sure it's him? Right? Come to find out, that's the only reason he was on his best behavior was because my buddy was in charge of that plant for 2 weeks. So I go up to that plant. Dude is on, I don't know, he's off because he pitched a fit with the plant manager when he did come back, right? Because this guy is a proverbial fuck up, right? So the plant manager gives him shit. Well, then he gets the ass with the plant manager. The plant manager, guess what? You can take 3 days off. Have a nice fucking weekend. And so he gets him off. Well, he's losing money. This guy is fucking... Anyway, so... It's wild. So... I find out... Because I gotta go up there and do a fucking curb job. And I'm there 10 hours that one day. And, the guy who was batching, not the original plant manager... The guy filling in, just batching, right? That motherfucking, he's a piece of shit. That damn, I gotta call him 3 times every fucking day. It takes at least 3 calls to get his ass here. He is less than 8 minutes away from that point. It's bad. Allergies. I know it's gotta be allergies. I never... This is not a cold. There's no pain. There's no... It's just drippy nose and itchy and my whole... Feels like I got fleas in my face. I'm not exhausted. I'm not fatigued. or anything like that. Oh, goody, we're almost up. Anyway. So, I get a completely different story from this one batch guy who covers that plant a lot more than people think. Then the report my buddy gives me, like, not even 2 weeks prior. And I'm like, that piece of shit. He's playing fucking nice and being, you know, model citizen to try to prove to this guy that whatever I've talked about, how much of a piece of crap the guy is, you know, prove me wrong kind of thing, right? It's common narcissistic abuse. So I asked my buddy when, a couple days ago, right? I was like, hey, he's like, hey, how are you doing? I was like, I'm good. He's like, I was just wondering, you want to go for a ride? And I'm like, yeah. He goes, there's one coming up on May 2nd. I was like, what is it? He's like, well, there's a car show and it's up here and they're doing this and that. And I'm like, I don't know. Let me see what's happening, because we are pretty much working day and night right now. I have no idea if I'm going to be available. But it is my Saturday off, but depending on what they've got for a night for, I may end up volunteering and I'm not going to make it. It's already 10:30. I ain't got time to get home, get cleaned up, grab the bike, and get up to where it is. And make it before they do kickstands up. And I have no idea where all of their little marching orders are going to send them. So, I don't know. I do need a beer, though. Today, I'm definitely doing a beer as soon as I get home. And I said, hey, I got a question. I said, remember that day you wrote him up? He's like, yeah. I said, well, it was just around that time frame, and I just started to think back, and I'm a little late on the uptake, and I didn't really know anything about it until now. And he's like, okay, what are you jazzing at? I was like, well, remember the girl he left before? He's like, yeah, that one. I said, she had posted something just around that time frame. I'm in my Beth Dunham here. She had a black eye in one of these photos. She had like 9 different photos, and she kind of resembled, just depending on the, you know, angle of her expression, face, whatever. But she had a fucking shiner in one of them. And I said, I'm wondering, could it be? He's like, no. I said, I'm wondering. The reason why he didn't show up until fucking noon, and nobody could get a hold of him, and you had to leave voicemail. He's like, yeah, I left voice and text. Was because he was locked up for 12 hours under state law on his 12-hour timeout. He was like, you know what? He could be. I said, and then he had a couple of days off here and there, and yada yada, this, that, and the other thing. You know, a couple of weeks after that. Undisclosed. He's like, yeah, he did, didn't he? I was like, I bet you anything. And he's so close to fucking retirement right now from the military, and he don't give a shit about Lautenberg Amendment. Or he was able to get it shot down for whatever. Yeah, pay another $3,000 for an attorney. At least I'm not paying for it this time. So anyway, he's like, "Wow, I never even thought." I said, "I didn't put 2 and 2 together until just recently." I said, "I'm telling you, I don't care how good of a when he works good." I said, "But I don't care how well he works. That's what a lot of people are not understanding. He is star performer when he wants to. But as long as you tolerate him being a shitbag, he's just gonna shit all over you. He has no fucking conscience. No loyalty. There's no loyalty. Now, wow. My ear is draining. There's no loyalty. Now, there's a lot to say about this industry in some regard. It's lumpy, sorry. That, you know what, if, you know, you were to quit, die, or, you know, whatnot, they would have your replacement within 48 hours. You know, that kind of thing. But the problem is that person that replaces you 48 hours from now going to stick around for 10 years, tolerate the dumb shit? There's a lot of dumb shit. But there's a few people in the management aspects that I really appreciate them. And they appreciate me. And as long as I have that little bit going for me, I'm going to try to do the best job that I possibly can. Just so they are not having to deal with dumb shit. And as long as I do for them, they'll do for me. It's like tit for tat. Right? This guy, they gave him a newer truck. He's not taking care of it like he used to take the other one. But he's also having to use it a hell of a lot more too. And it's not in a scheduled scenario either. Like what he was using the truck for before, it was pretty much the same contractors over and over and over. Night pulls, same routine over and over and over and over. But when he was with me and he would show up late and he had to stay late, he would pitch a fit every fucking time. Now, I've gotten to the point where when I take time off for like doctor's appointments and stuff, my appointment might be at 8 o'clock in the morning. I have to roll all the way down to Murfreesboro. By the time I get back to my house to change my clothes into work clothes, it's already 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Typically. I'm on night crew. So basically I've had my entire day consumed with doctor appointments. And it's very likely I'm going to get a message that says, I need you at 11:30 at night. Yeah, that kind of thing. I got a little bit of a dribble off the edge. Why'd you do that? I didn't go into that hard. And so, these guys sat there saying that he was acting such a fool about having to take that one kill off at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. He didn't even show up to work until like 9. That it was almost childlike. And I was like, oh. Yeah, I've seen that. They're like, you're kidding. I said, he's textbook. He's fucking textbook. They're like, you're not joking, are you? I said, I'm not exaggerating. I ain't trying. This motherfucker will never get therapy because he does not see the wrong of his ways. He does not understand that every fucking problem he has, he is the maker of every fucking problem he has. He doesn't realize, you know, that if he showed up to work, he wouldn't be struggling. If he would probably get a better raise. You know, they'd probably treat him better. Maybe if he treated women better, he might have somebody stick around, be a ride or die. But you know what? He gets bored, and then he shits all over him. That's the way he works. I'm like, I'm gonna sneeze again. Oh God, these fucking allergies are killing me. As soon as I get out in nature, my face, my nose itchy. It feels like I got fleas in my nostrils. All right, let me get this cleaned up and get back. Need a little bit more water here. Gotta get that back fed. I can't help the drum. Oh, dirty one. Don't you dribble. Get back, get washed out, and go home. Because I think I'm coming in Sunday night too. Welcome to Concrete World. So, yeah, but it's been a decent Saturday. It's not been that bad. Y'all take care. Peace out.